when we're ready to plot, you'll notice here that you have a set of ordered pairs. What are the ordered pairs? Ordered pairs are the x and the y values. So to plot this one, you look for minus 3 on the x, 16 on the y. Minus 3 on the x, 16 on the y is about this point here. Now, I want you to plot the points, and after you have plotted the points, we're going to think about going in. Don't go there before I have the opportunity to show this to you. We're going to try to take a curve that would connect all the points. Now this isn't drawn to scale, remember, so it would not look as accurate as how we would have it on your graph sheets. However, what we're going to do, we're going to try our best to draw a curve that connects through each of the points, and it's going to come off the smooth curve, so there mustn't be any break in the curve. So it should look something like that. It's good. Now, I would like for a couple of students to come and display the curve, and as they come up, you give them a round of applause, right? If you find the curve looks good. Okay. Shushan. Okay, and we have 2 more students. This point down here is the least point, which we call the minimum point. Alright? So this point here produces what we call a minimum point. And this point here produces what we call a maximum point. How could we easily identify it? This looks as if you were going downhill. Yes. Not so? Yes. So you go down to the least point possible. And this one looks as if you are going uphill. So when you go up, you're going up to the peak. So this is the peak or the maximum point. Okay? How can you identify this on your graph? Take a look at this. This is simple. Watch. If I had, in the case like what we just drew here, your projected curve like that, your minimum point, take a look at this and take a note of this. Your minimum point can be obtained by drawing a horizontal line to touch the y-axis at this point here. So the value at this point here would be your minimum value. Okay? Let us take a look at the handout I just gave you. We want to examine if there exists a relationship between the coefficient of x squared, and when I say the coefficient of x squared, we mean the number in front of x squared. That is the value of a, and the concavity, that is to say, the shape of the parabola, whether it produces a minimum value or a maximum value.
Yes.
Alright? Now in number 1a, you will see the value of a is greater than 0, not so?
Yes.
Right. And if the value of a is greater than 0, this produces a maximum or minimum value?
Minimum.
A minimum value. And what is the minimum value?
-3.
Alright, so we see here that in number 1, A is greater than 0 produces a minimum value. Let's look at number 2. What is the value of A? Number 1B, sorry. What is the value of A? A is less than 0. So if A is less than 0, look at the if A is less than 0, and what is the maximum value in this case? 7 1/4. Very good. Look at C. What is the value of A?
Less than 0.
A is less than 0. This produces what? A maximum. Okay. And what's the maximum value?
3.5.
3.5. What about D? What's the value of A?
Less than 0.
A is less than 0. This produces a
Maximum.
and what is the maximum value?
9.
Okay. What about E? E produces a
Minimum.
E produces a minimum. And what's the value of E?
More than 0.
A is greater than 0. And finally, F. What's the value of A? Look at that. A is greater than 0. And this produces a minimum or maximum value?
Minimum.
Alright. So we have here A is greater than 0 and it produces a minimum value. Let's take a look at this pattern on the board. When A is greater than 0, it produces a minimum value. When A is less than 0, we have a maximum value. A is less than 0, maximum. So can we conclude anything? Let's see when we have maximum value. We have maximum values here. And we have a maximum value. Is that all?
Yes.
Right. And we have minimum values at these points here. Can we safely say, or what can we safely say about the value of A and the concavity? That is to say, the minimum, when we get in a minimum or maximum value. Is there a relationship there?
When
A is more than 0.
Show by raising hands, please. Okay, let's take it together, please. Okay, Shane.
We get a minimum when A is more than 0.
We get a minimum value when A is greater than 0, okay? And a maximum value when?
When it's less than 0.
less than 0.
Very good. So we were able to, at the end of the lesson, we should be able to conclude, we were able to conclude from this lesson that 1, a quadratic function shapes either like that or like this, that is to say a U-shaped curve or a bell-shaped curve. We were able to graph the quadratic function and we were able to locate the minimum or your maximum value. Okay? I'm going to give you your homework.